You know it's going to be a good day when the school bus drops you off at a basketball game instead of at school. Students from around Milwaukee joining us at the Al McGuire Center this morning. It's Big East Women's Basketball presented by SoFi. Georgetown visiting Marquette. Glad to have you with us, along with my partner Kyle Dolabe. I'm Patrick Reed. This weekend marks the halfway points of Big East play, and Marquette at 4-3 in league play feels pretty good about what it's done this season. And as much as we've talked about guard play, as much as we've talked about Selena Lott, Isabel Spingola, it's been the interior, it's been experienced players on the interior that have made a difference in Althea Anderson and Lauren Van Clunen.
That size has given Marquette an advantage in many of these Big East games. Van Clunen has been solid offensively for much of this season. As for Anderson, she's stepped up on the offensive end the last 4 games, scoring in double digits in all of those contests.
As for Georgetown, they have struggled through a difficult season, in part because they lack a lot of players with previous college basketball experience. One of those players who has plenty of it is Taylor Barnes. Today she plays in her 102nd game. She transferred from Memphis, and she's given Georgetown a boost.
She's been big for this Georgetown team that lacks a lot of big-time experience. She's played against the likes of UConn and USF in her days at Memphis. She's asked to do a lot, and look for her to get a lot of shots up for Georgetown today.
Georgetown has lost 5 straight games since its Big East win over Providence on December 31st. James Howard, or Jimmy Howard, has used the same starting 5 in each game in Big East play for Georgetown. We talked about the experience of Taylor Barnes in the open. Keep an eye on number 0, Brianna Jones, and her experience. 97th game today for her as a college basketball player. 43 of those in Louisville went to a 2017 Final Four with the Cardinals.
There are a number of players that have experience on this Georgetown team, and that's one thing that Coach Howard talked with us about yesterday as we prepared for today's game. There's a little bit over a month or so left in the season for a number of these players. That's going to be it for their careers, and how do they want to end up? So it starts today for those players as they continue their senior seasons.
As for Marquette, the Golden Eagles have won 3 in a row here at home, the Al McGuire Center. We talked in the open about the play up front for the Golden Eagles. Keep an eye on Isabel Spingola coming off a big shooting effort on Sunday against Xavier. A season high 20 points, 6 of 8 from downtown. She can pop it.
She has done this for Marquette in a number of seasons, but has taken it to the next level this year, especially in the game that you just mentioned, Patrick. So efficient for the Golden Eagles, and that's going to be a big advantage for Marquette moving forward as they try to make their way towards a solid finish in Big East play.
It is a packed house full of students from around Milwaukee, getting loud, getting set for basketball. Inside the Al McGuire Center, we're underway between Georgetown and Marquette. First meeting of the season between these two, as this weekend marks the halfway point of the Big East season. We'll turn the page next weekend around the league. Early work for Lauren Van Clunen, gets the hook to fall.
2 things stand out about that play. We talked about Van Clunen and Anderson. They're able to pass the ball inside and get a nice finish. Marquette is very good at distributing and setting each other up for baskets.
They're really good distributing from the post. You see the paint touches, the kick out, or to kick to somebody else inside is the first 3 of the game for Georgetown, and Brianna Jones misses.
An early game, which is always interesting on a Friday to see how teams take to it. Georgetown's been here since yesterday preparing for this one.
There's Anderson in the lane. She rarely misses those types of buckets. She's been good with both hands, developing as an offensive player. There's Taylor Barnes connecting from long range. Barnes in the Big East this season averaging nearly 15 points per game. Georgetown is really going to lean on her.
Yeah, she's the only player in double-figure scoring so far this year for Georgetown.
It has not been the kind of offensive season that Jordan King wanted out of her freshman year. Big-time scorer in high school, but asked to do so many things here at Marquette that has almost been secondary in the eyes of Megan Duffy and the coaching staff here. Barnes again, 10 to shoot for Georgetown. Marvelous Osagi Arisi around the screen. Back inside for Grace Ann Bennett. Good motion there for Georgetown.
Beautiful ball movement by the Hoyas right there as they are able to find the easy bucket down low. You know, Coach Howard has to be happy with that sort of teamwork on the offensive end.
Really good passing from Osagi Arisi, who was once a walk-on and got a scholarship for this season. She's been maybe the most consistent player Georgetown has had, as there's a foul inside. There is Jimmy Howard. When Jimmy Howard talks, Kyle, he talks about defense, and that's what he wants to see, the improvement.
In his time at Georgetown, that's what his teams have hang their hat on, and it really hasn't been there so much as of late for Georgetown. And if they want to take that next step as a team, it has to start on that end of the floor because of their limitations offensively. Things just haven't sort of played out as they would have hoped this season to unfold this year for a number of different reasons. But defensive effort, I think he believes, is one thing that they could amp up a little bit more and have some more success.
All things considered, Georgetown's about middle of the pack in most defensive metrics in the Big East, considering the limitations of the roster. Barnes on the inside. Georgetown, good passing in the lane that time. Anita Kaleba, transfer from the University of Maine.
Yeah, Georgetown looking under control so far and doing a lot of good things offensively.
Kaleba the board. Sixth in the Big East in rebounding coming in is Kaleba. Osagi Arisi to Grace Ann Bennett again left open. Georgetown's guards are finding those open spaces.
Yeah, Marquette having some problem with the penetration so far of Georgetown, and the Hoyas getting some nice looks in the early going here.
Watts through contact inside. There's Megan Duffy. She's been pleasantly surprised and pleased with the start from Marquette. There were a lot of unknowns for her and the coaching staff coming into this program, with a lot of unknown players in their own right. But so far, so good for Marquette at 13-5, 4-3 in the Big East.
One thing she talked about this week is the confidence that they've had to build as a coaching staff for her players, because they really didn't believe that they could get the job done at this level, and they've really been able to do so, and now they're really starting to believe.
Early lineup change for Georgetown. Marvelous Osagi Arisi with her second foul.
Those are the kind of mistakes Georgetown can't afford to make against Marquette. They can push the tempo a little bit, but to give up possessions that easily, it's not going to do them well.
Georgetown's been respectable the way they've taken care of the ball this season, averaging around 14 turnovers, fifth in the Big East. Into the post to Anderson, showing off her moves and rolls in and out. Barnes ahead. Nikola Kovachikova is an intriguing player to watch for Georgetown. We understood that she was under the weather coming in today's game. Felt good this morning, set to go. Another turnover for Georgetown, this time for Brianna Jones.
Yeah, this is where things can get away from Georgetown a little bit when the turnovers start to add up, and how do they respond on the defensive end?
We'll stay with Marquette.
Kind of a deep baseline jumper there for Lauren Van Kloon, and I haven't seen a ton of those type shots for her as of late.
Jones a little bit shaken up on the physical play inside, but gets the basketball right back. One-on-one against King as Jones. She'll fall away. Hard off the glass, no.
Not the shot you're looking for on a fast break situation.
King had her fronted. Here's Van Kloon, another jumper. Lauren Van Kloon had 1 for 3 to start the game.
She hasn't put up a lot of threes. Those last two shots were inching towards the perimeter.
She was a three-point shooter early in her career, but all two-pointers this season. Kaleba on the drive with 8 to shoot. Nice move inside for Anita Kaleba. On the give from Kovachikova, there's Lott on the drive.
Yeah, offensively, Georgetown's been impressive so far, 5 for 7 from the field. A nice take right here. She sort of loses control of it and is able to finish despite the little bit of a bobble.
At the other end, Caleb was fouled. That's her first offensive foul against Marquette. It'll be Selena Lott. That's her first. Megan Duffy engaged early today. Marquette has a couple here this weekend. They'll welcome in Villanova Sunday. The nice thing about the early game for both teams is that extra rest. DePaul and Villanova play later tonight in Chicago. 8 o'clock Eastern, 7 o'clock Central. Kovachikova, tough shot on the drive and the friendly roll for Nikola Kovachikova.
Georgetown really playing with a purpose so far out there on the offensive end, whether it's finding open players off penetration or taking it themselves.
King drives, short J for Jordan King. Georgetown second in the Big East in rebounding behind Marquette. Two of the better rebounding squads in the league. Jones left open for three, no. Kaleva's rebound, fresh 20 for the Hoyas.
What a nice pass, though, to set up Jones for the wide open look.
If it doesn't fall, keep shooting. Jones just a 24% three-point shooter this season. 5 to shoot for the Hoyas. Kovachikova to her left and inside the arc. Marquette will slow it down. Chloe Murata into the game for the Golden Eagles. Traveling whistle against Jordan King. That'll take us to our first break inside the Al McGuire Center. Georgetown, good motion in its offense to start this game early on a Friday in Milwaukee.
You're watching Marquette Basketball on Big East Digital Network.
We're different here. We don't just get up for another day. We rise. We don't just work. We endeavor. We're women and men, for and with others. We have hope, we believe, and we celebrate. Why are we different?
So we can be the difference.
We're all in, all together. Great voices right at the start, great energy. We're getting excited about what we do, all right? You know how together you are. You know how hard you're going to work, but you also know how good you are. Let's go show them. 1, 2, 3. Together!
This is our time.
When we bring it together and we all locked in, we coming back in this locker room with a victory.
That's the Big East way. The 2020 Women's Basketball Tournament at Wintrust Arena. Get tickets now.
You're watching Georgetown Women's Basketball on the Big East Digital Network.
It is getting loud early inside the Al McGuire Center. Georgetown, no problems with the noise coming on the road. Hoyas have looked sharp out of the gates.
Offensively, you know, it's been quite surprising for the Hoyas so far, the way they've been able to operate on that end of the floor. They're now 6 for 11 from the field. On the other side, Marquette 1 for 8. They've gotten some good looks from Anderson. She hasn't been able to convert. Jordan King, she's had a couple of pretty decent looks at the basket as well. But I think Marquette, they're just not really hitting their stride yet offensively, and you expect that to change as the game moves on. But for Georgetown, they have to feel pretty good about the way they played so far. And right now they must be talking about, how do we keep this going? How do we keep this momentum flowing as we reach the later part of this first quarter?
That's been the puzzle that Jimmy Howard's been trying to solve this season. Georgetown, for the most part, has been pretty good in the first halves of games. It's been in the second half, and especially in the third quarter, where things have taken a nosedive.
And what's good for Georgetown is Barnes had that first three, but other than that, it's been the other players that have gotten things going.
Players like Nikola Kovachikova.
Yeah, coming off the bench today, you mentioned a little bit under the weather, but not really showing signs of that so far.
Kovachikova in the Big East has been outstanding this season. 9 points a game, shooting it at 61% from outside.
And a turnover there. Georgetown takes it away.
Meanwhile, it's been a lull for Marquette. 0 for their last 7 shooting the basketball. They've turned it over 4 times in nearly the last 4 minutes.
And with Kovachikova, she's only played 20 minutes a game in Big East play, so it'll be interesting to see if she gets a little bit more time, despite being other than the weather, with that offensive prowess.
Short miss inside for Tatiana Thompson. She's been dealing with a shoulder injury. Suffered in Georgetown's game against Butler 2 games ago. Hoyas had just the 1 game last weekend against Villanova. Following their home matchups with Xavier and Butler, Lott snaps the drought for Marquette.
Those catch and shoot threes have been an area that Selena Lott has really excelled, and you get the nice assist for Marquette and get off the schneid with a big-time 3-point hit.
17 points in the league for Lott this season. We will hear more from her. Thompson on the inside in a tough spot. When you have the defense of Altia Anderson on you, you know it's a problem. Cameron Taylor has it swiped away by Taylor Barnes.
It looked like Taylor, the Marquette player, was able to finish with an easy one there, and out of nowhere, Taylor Barnes comes flying in.
Barnes has really been a fighter and has brought that spirit here to Georgetown for her grad transfer season. Short 3, Barnes takes the miss.
Don't see a lot of shots like that for Spingola.
Kovachikova left alone. That's long. Lott on the take. Will get to the line.
It's one of the parts of Lott's game you really have to admire. She knew she was going to get some contact and didn't shy away from it at all, going right to the basket, knowing that at worst she'll probably get a couple of free throws.
Selena Lott has done such a good job, and Megan Duffy talked about this week, of accepting the responsibility of being that go-to player. And it was not something she was 100% certain of coming into this season, but she's grown comfortable, and she has been that player for Marquette since the start of the season.
Yeah, from an outsider's perspective, I don't think enough gets talked about in basketball in terms of personalities and how they sort of fit in when you have to become a leader on your team. You know, it sounds like Selena Lott is really leading by example in a lot of things that she is taking on this season, and it's a little bit out of her comfort zone, but has taken it on quite nicely for Marquette.
Thompson with the shoulder down commits the travel. It's been one of the victories, I think, for Megan Duffy and her staff, is really getting to understand the personalities of the individual players on the team and helping them become their best.
And Lott in her junior year, if things progress, she could be up for Big East Player of the Year next year. Nice look there for Anderson.
So often Altia Anderson finds herself in the right place. And that was another situation where she did. Jimmy Howard will take a timeout. As Marquette has inched its way back in with a 7-0 run after a bad run of misses and turnovers. The Golden Eagles finding their stride. When you add Cameron Taylor to that post group, as we talked about in the open, Van Clunen and Anderson, that is a nice addition to have off the bench, a nice contribution.
Yeah, the size that Marquette has been able to utilize this year, I think, has been quite impressive and a bit of a surprise, because with Anderson, she spent so little time out on the floor in her first 3 seasons at Marquette. You really didn't know if she could do it, getting the number of minutes that she is now, and especially in Big East play is where she's really busted out offensively. So I think that's even a bigger win for Marquette.
We saw Cameron Taylor with her, and with freshmen, a lot of unknowns, but she's become a known commodity.
Yeah, the balance between the freshmen and the upperclassmen has worked out really nicely for Marquette. A lot of unselfish players. Everybody seems like an unselfish player on this team from what we know.
Hot pass for Taylor. Barnes skipping her way into the lane. Norel Lubo initiating for Marquette. Lubo, a freshman who's seen significant minutes. Anderson driving in on Bennett. Grace-Ann Bennett doing the job with her reach to close out Anderson.
Anderson lucky there that Marquette had some fouls to give. Just the second foul in the quarter, as she was a little bit frustrated that she missed that one and committed the personal.
Georgetown hasn't scored in more than 3 minutes. Still shooting the ball relatively well at 7 for 16, but it's been a slow go recently. Final 3, Kovachikova lets it fly. Around Bennett. And the horn sounds to end quarter number 1 in Milwaukee. Marquette, all things considered successful for them, but Georgetown with a fast start. At a 16-13 lead on Marquette at the end of 1 quarter of play in Milwaukee.
You're watching Marquette Women's Basketball on the Big East Digital Network.
Stand up stronger. I got the power, gonna raise it up. So high, we're shining brighter. We got the power, gonna raise it up. We got the power, gonna raise it up. We're running ahead, and we got to raise it up.
The amount of student loan debt I have, I'm embarrassed to even say.
I felt like I was going to spend my whole adult life paying this off.
Thanks to SoFi, I can see the light at the end of the tunnel.
As of 12 p.m. today, I am debt-free.
We have no debt, we don't owe anybody anything, and it's fantastic.
We're different here. We don't just get up for another day. We rise. We don't just work. We endeavor. We're women and men for and with others. We have hope, we believe, and we celebrate. Why are we different?
So we can be the difference.
All right, we gotta be all in, all right? We gotta make sure we play with great passion. You have felt each other and helped each other and allowed yourselves to be helped with that, all right? We've got a great opportunity to do that today.
This is who we are.
When you look to your left and you see your sister over there, you help her. Because what we are one. Let's bring it.
1, 2, 3.
Yeah!
That's the Big East way. The 2020 Big East Women's Basketball Tournament at Wintrust Arena. Get tickets now.
This weekend marks the halfway point of the Big East season, and the Big East Women's Basketball Championship presented by Jeep returns to Wintrust Arena in downtown Chicago, March 6th through 9th. All session tickets for the 2020 Conference Championship are now on sale, starting at just $50. For tickets, visit bigeast.com/WBB tickets. Megan Duffy and Marquette looking for a high seed in that tournament that'll be here before we know it. Along with our fine Big East crew in Milwaukee and Kyle Jalabe, I'm Patrick Reed. Marquette starting off the second quarter with an impact defensive play.
Yeah, forcing the turnover in their offensive end as Georgetown can't be happy with that start to the second quarter as they're on a little bit of a rough patch here offensively.
Starting as well as Georgetown did in the first quarter helps, but you want to keep it going. Last touch by the Hoyas. trying to solve the puzzle in Big East play as they sit 1-6. Entering play today, having lost 5 in a row.
It's been 4 minutes since they've gotten a field goal.
Shoulder down from Taylor. It's a travel against the Marquette freshman.
Turnover number 5 for Marquette. Georgetown with 4.
Marquette 9th out of 10 Big East teams in turnovers per game. Not the only area that's really been deficient for the Golden Eagles this season. Osagi Arisi blocked away by Lotz.
Lott using the angle to knock that one out of bounds.
Size mismatch between Osagi Arisi and Lotz. Osagi Arisi, the former walk-on, 5'4", Lott, plenty of reach at 5'11". Georgetown 2 of 4 shooting it from outside, but they've got to get things organized in the front court. And Marquette is making it awfully difficult right now. 7 to shoot for the Hoyas.
Yeah, Marquette really amping it up, understanding what Georgetown wants to do offensively.
Osagi Arisi off her foot, 2 seconds. Jones has to fire it up. Shot clock violation and never touched the basket.
Marquette now really digging in off on the defensive end. Still just 3 for 13 from the field themselves.
Marquette has proven this season it can win different ways. It can grind out a low-scoring game. It can win a high-scoring game as Lott's 3 misses. Pass to the front court. Bennett couldn't keep it in. She does. Blocked away from Kaleva and taken by Lubo. Lubo doesn't have the numbers. Lubo's not likely to pull the string on that 3-point shot. Marquette looking for the paint touch. Van Clunen, Jay inside the arc, yes.
Practice makes perfect. She missed the first 2 deep 2s and able to drain that one, pulling Marquette within 1.
Lauren Van Clunen has really nice range as one of those jump shooters inside the arc.
Yeah, surprised to see she hasn't taken more 3s this season, but it really hasn't been a necessity for Marquette. They need her down low. That's where she can be most effective for this team. In past seasons, they needed someone in certain situations to stretch the defense.
1-point lead for the Hoyas. They've been cold offensively. Osagi Arisi for Kovachikova for 3. Second 3 for Nikola Kovachikova.
As you've mentioned, Patrick, she's been over 60% from 3-point range in conference play. And she's come to play offensively for the Hoyas.
Got to get out today for Georgetown. Hoyas showing some zone. Spingola's 3, yes! We'll see if it gets it going for Isabel Spingola.
Good patience by Lubo on the point the last couple of possessions for Marquette, ending up with some nice buckets.
Jones, nice jumper from inside the arc. First points for Brianna Jones. She's averaging just under 10 per game this season. Kick out pass, King for 3. Kovachikova to push for Georgetown. She'll settle the Hoyas into the half-court offense. Georgetown, 3 of 6 shooting from outside. And 2 for 5 to start this quarter. Kovachikova pried away. Marquette has the break. King all the way to the baskets. Defense has come to play in the second quarter for Marquette. They turn defense to offense.
It's a big one for King to see one fall right there, no matter how it goes down for hers. She's had some struggles from the field.
Going off just 3 points against Xavier Sunday. Lubo, the lob, Van Clunen. So Sagi Arisi's foul, that'll be her third.
Yeah, these minutes with Lubo at the point have been a success for Marquette on the offensive end.
Marquette does a really good job of exploiting that mismatch against Osagi Arisi inside. And as a result, she's got 3 fouls, has to go to the bench.
Yeah. Another opportunity for Marquette possibly to go inside as this quarter proceeds with whether it's Van Clunen or Anderson or Taylor. A lot of different bigs for Marquette can score down there.
It hasn't really been Marquette's strategy to get to the line, to get inside. They haven't been a great free throw shooting team at just 66% coming in, 9th in the Big East, but it's working today, 8 for 8. Van Clunen 4 for 4. Marquette's lineup gets bigger with Chloe Murata on the floor. Ivanchikova and Barnes, 8 to shoot. Inside right. First minutes of the game for Shania Wright, sophomore from Brooklyn. 3 from the corner for Spingola, another one. Will go down for Spingola.
2 threes this quarter for her, now a 4-point lead for Marquette. And then if you're Georgetown and Coach Howard, you have to be sort of looking at these next few possessions at a bit of a danger zone for the Hoyas.
Offensive foul, Georgetown.
Double negative does not equal a positive there, as it would have been a turnover either way for Georgetown.
It's Brianna Jones's first foul.
Now King back at point with Lubo on the bench.
Seven made buckets, 7 assists for Marquette. Lots. Murata through the seam in trouble. Spingola, right side 3, count it!
Another one for Spingola as she is heating up. Good patience by all the Marquette players on that possession as they were whipping it around, and Murata is going to end up with the assist on that one.
Good patience, good movement in the front court. Kovačikova, right side 3. Hands on it, back up. Shania Wright, count it. Plus the foul for Shania Wright.
Big time play there by Wright, getting the basket and the foul as Marquette putting their stamp on this one, with King turning defense into offense for the Golden Eagles.
You're watching Georgetown Women's Basketball on the Big East Digital Network.
The amount of student loan debt I have, I'm embarrassed to even say.
I felt like I was going to spend my whole adult life paying this off.
Thanks to SoFi, I can see the light at the end of the tunnel.
As of 12 p.m. today, I am debt-free.
We have no debt, we don't owe anybody anything, and it's fantastic.
Stand up stronger. I got the power, gonna raise it up. So high, we're shining brighter. We got the power, gonna raise it up.
We're different here. We don't just get up for another day. We rise. We don't just work. We endeavor. We're women and men for and with others. We have hope, we believe, and we celebrate. Why are we different?
So we can be the difference.
Free t-shirts, get them out of the seats inside the Al McGuire Center. On a school day, field trip day, students from around Milwaukee enjoying some Big East women's basketball on a Friday and enjoying Marquette with a 5-point lead on Georgetown. Jordan King, the Big East Freshman of the Year, serving in a initiator point guard position for the Golden Eagles this season. She's continued her development well, despite not getting on the scoring side of the ledger often, but that's not what they're asking of her. Last time out, 4 assists, no turnovers for King. Trying to keep those zeros there is what they want to see as Shania Wright makes it a 3-point play.
It's a big answer there by Georgetown. Things were getting a little bit hazy there for the Hoyas here in the second quarter, and they pull back within 4.
Here's King from the free throw line. Marquette in the quarter, 5 of 8 shooting. And they've used the 3 as part of the turning points in the second quarter, 3 of 5 from outside. Georgetown not finding its stroke from beyond 3-point range, just 1 of 5 in this quarter. Give and go to Taylor. Nicely done from Selena Lott to Cameron Taylor.
Yeah, it's just a matter of time before Taylor got involved offensively for Marquette. Her second attempt falls.
Taylor not many games removed from a 23-point effort against Seton Hall. 23 points, 11 boards for her first career double-double. Miss from Wright. We have a 3-point play moments ago for Georgetown. Murata through contacts. Give herself a second chance. And give Marquette a second chance.
Yeah, she showed no fear down there despite the double team.
Taylor into contact, right all over her, and so is Kovačíková as Taylor steps out. Patience from Cameron Taylor.
To step through, not travel there, and get the bucket. It's a tough play by a freshman.
Coaching staff calls her the future of Marquette basketball. And we're seeing it now. Turnaround jumper from Jones is pretty.
Yeah, that's a very nice shot for her.
Megan Duffy had her eyes on both of the Joneses, Brianna and Tayana, no relation. Lott will drive and go back to the free throw line. Lott's had a successful day at the stripe, perfect in her 2 trips.
Yeah, just thinking back to her freshman year when she just got to Marquette, you knew that she was going to be a solid contributor for Marquette just by the way she holds herself out on the floor. Much of a defensive stalwart for her first 2 seasons at Marquette, and now really breaking out in all different facets for the Golden Eagles.
Really started about this time last year in conference play for Selena Lott, as by necessity, she garnered more use with Marquette's all-time leading scorer Alizea Blockton going down to injury. Brianna Jones will return.
Lott diving to try to keep that one in play for Marquette, unable to do so as you could hear her body hitting the floor.
Trouble for Barnes. King taking advantage.
King finding ways to score for Marquette. Now with their biggest lead.
Foul in the front court against Marquette. This was a play that was kind of doomed from the start as King was coming from the backside behind Barnes, who didn't see her. Turnover number 8 for the Hoyas. Barnes. Kaleva had it for a moment. Marquette has made 6 of its last 8 from the floor. And they've been packing it in the lane against Marquette, as the Golden Eagles were able to take advantage in the paint early in the game, but they're keeping it tight now as Georgetown. Final 70 seconds of the opening half. Jones again. Kaleva with the offensive board. Second chance perhaps for Bennett, but had Murata there in front. Lots in motion to the floor.
I think he was going to try to whip it out to Spingola for the 3 there on the left wing, but knocked out of bounds. Two-handed block there.
Like the size, you like the athleticism that Tayana Jones brings to the floor. Bright future ahead for her. Spingola inside the arc. It's been all three-point shooting for Spingola, except for that one. Lott takes it back. Spingola in. It'll stay with Marquette.
I don't think Georgetown expected to see this kind of pressure from Marquette in the backcourt. I think they were getting ready for this on Sunday against DePaul, but they just don't seem prepared for this right now, as Marquette really upping the tempo on this one and trying to force the issue before halftime.
They've got to be aware, and Barnes has to do a better job of getting into open space. Kick out for Spingola. Rebound, Kaleva.
It's pretty impressive how Spingola is able to find space, even though she's the #1 threat from three-point range for Marquette, the way she moves without the basketball.
Hoyas can run it down, trailing by 9. Taylor Barnes, first points in a while for her. She has 5. Lott carving through is short. We will go to halftime in Milwaukee. Marquette with a 9-point lead on Georgetown. It was a challenge out of the gate for the Golden Eagles. Georgetown, some challenges ahead as we move into the second half in Milwaukee, but first a break inside the Al McGuire Center. We're back after this.
My parents never taught me anything about managing money.
The amount of student loan debt I have, I'm embarrassed to even say.
We just decided we didn't want debt any longer.
I didn't realize how easy investing could be. I'm picking companies that I believe in.
I think SoFi Money is amazing.
Thank you, SoFi.
SoFi, thank you. We love you.
We're all in, all together. Great voices right at the start, great energy. We're getting excited about what we do, all right? You know how together you are. You know how hard you're going to work, but you also know how good you are. Let's go, Storm. 1, 2, 3.
Together!
This is our time.
When we bring it together and we all locked in, we coming back in this locker room with a victory.
That's the Big East way. The 2020 Women's Basketball Tournament at Wintrust Arena. Get tickets now.
Stand up stronger. I got the power, gonna raise it up. So high, we're shining brighter. We got the power, gonna raise it up. We got the power, gonna raise it up. We're running ahead. We got to raise it up.
It's another Big East Women's Basketball Friday, tipping off today here in Milwaukee. with Marquette leading Georgetown 37-28 at halftime. Let's take a quick look around the Big East. Look at the best performers from around the league last week. Kristen Spolyar, a 30-point effort in a win at home for Butler against Marquette last Friday. Maddie Siegrist, an impressive season, 7th in the nation in scoring for the Villanova freshman. As for the honor roll, Shantae Stonewall and DePaul remaining unbeaten in conference play at 7-0. Of course, today we're getting a look at Althea Anderson. Anderson coming off the double-double on Sunday against Xavier. And for Anderson, that is the first career double-double for her. As another week of Big East women's basketball is in the books. Halfway point of the season this weekend. Marquette with a lead on Georgetown at halftime. Back after this.
We're different here. We don't just get up for another day. We rise. We don't just work. We endeavor. We're women and men for and with others. We have hope, we believe, and we celebrate. Why are we different?
So we can be the difference.
The student crowd inside the Al McGuire Center engrossed with a game of musical chairs taking place right now with center court Marquette with a 37-28 lead on Georgetown at halftime. This weekend marks the 4th edition of Fox College Basketball All Access. That's Sunday at 6:30 Eastern Time on FS1. Seton Hall will take on St. John's at Walsh Gym, and both head coaches will be mic'd up for the duration of the limited commercial production. Fox Sports will take viewers inside huddles, into the locker room, pre- and post-game, and so much more. This week on Big East Fast Break, Megan Caffrey caught up with Tony Bozella and Joe Tartamella ahead of their all-access matchup.
Ahead of Sunday's St. John's Seton Hall All-Access game on FS1 at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time, I'm joined with the head coaches of both of those teams, Johnny's head coach Joe Tartamella and Pirates head coach Tony Bozella. Coach B, Coach T, you guys have both coached in an all-access game before. What is this experience like?
Go ahead, Tony. It is. It's a little nerve-wracking, to be honest with you. You're always thinking of what not to say as opposed to what to say, to be honest with you. But it's a great experience, and I think it gives the viewers a tremendous opportunity to see what coaching is really like. You know, the timeouts, the strategy during the game, halftime, pregame. I think it's just a great experience.
Yeah, I think probably 4 years ago or 3 years ago, whenever we both agreed to do the first one ever, I'm not sure we probably knew what we were getting into at that time, but certainly it was an exciting game to be a part of. It's an interesting game as a coach because you're really mindful of kind of what you're saying and what you're doing, but I think at the end of the day, you realize you got to just coach the way you would coach any other game, and I feel a little bit better about that than I probably did in the first game that we did years ago, and then just seeing it done over time. But it's a great way to give exposure to the game, and I think it's only going to continue to get better and give fans more access, and that seems to be what the new wave of where things have been going with how to interact with the game and how to be or how to show different sides of game-like situations to fans.
Coach Tartamella, you mentioned it right there. You and Coach Bozella were the first to coach in this. Back in 2016, you guys had the first all-access game. How cool is it to see how much this has gotten a lot of traction, that now the men's side of things are doing it as well?
I think it's great. I mean, they came to both of us with the idea, and, we were happy to do it. I think we're both a little probably hesitant in ways, but to see that it's still going on means that we did something right and they did something right. And I know the people at Fox and Steve Shear especially has done a great job in being able to promote it. And so to watch now some of the men's coaches, and they've probably asked Tony and I both about our experience with it before they've done it. So, I think it's pretty amazing to see. And again, I think it gives different coaches or fans different views of the coaches that they follow and the programs that they follow. And I think it brings a different dimension to how you watch a game. So it's been exciting to know that we were part of the first one.
We had talked to the two of you back at Media Day about this all-access game and how fun, especially with this matchup between St. John's and Seton Hall, because it's a great rivalry and you do have a lot of the same players who have grown up playing against one another. So how unique is it for this rivalry to get the all-access game?
I think that's what makes it special. I mean, we have so much respect for St. John's and how well they do. And I mean, look at all the success Joe's had and obviously Kim before him. But, it's a great game because, it's the biggest, I think the biggest rivalry in the Big East. I mean, we're close to each other. We recruit a lot of the same players. We're both really competitive teams. We're competitive coaches. And I just love playing them because of who they are and what they've brought and the bar they've raised that we have to, make sure we, do our best to be competitive.
Yeah, I think, every game you play is in a league, in league play is pretty, I would say, competitive, contentious. There's going to be days where you're playing really well and days where you don't. And certainly when you've got an opportunity, because of the way we play in our schedule, you're playing Friday, Sunday, the rhythm to that is very different as we've gone through the last few years. So when you've got a little bit more time and you've got that bye week, especially against your travel partner, so to speak, in that week, you're trying to make sure that everything is ready, it's in place, and certainly both teams know each other probably better than any team they're going to play because of that. So you've got more time to prepare. You're not talking about maybe a day and a half. So along with the proximity of being able to know the players in most programs that obviously we've watched play over time, along with others that are a part of that, it certainly adds to that piece of the competitiveness.
A ton of competition to look forward to. What else can everyone look forward to this Sunday?
I think a great atmosphere. We're really promoting it. I know St. John's always brings a lot of fans, and it's going to be a really close to a sellout. We're excited for that. Our administration is really pushing it really hard. I know, like I said, Joe's fans travel really well. I think you're going to see a lot of scoring. I mean, both these are two of the better scoring teams in the league. I think, this is the halfway part of the year. So, you want to finish it strong. I said, this is the women's basketball game of the week. I really believe that. And, of the weekend, I should say. And it'll be exciting for everyone.
Yeah, and obviously, hopefully, being at a 6:30 time, that we've got better viewership and being able to push through some of the things that may be on during the day. So, as Tony said, it's not, when you go there, it's obviously a very unique atmosphere, and the fans are, it's loud, people are on you, they pack it out, it's good. I mean, it's a great atmosphere to play in. And so it'll be definitely an exciting game, obviously with some pace, as Tony and I would believe. But yeah, so I think that, it'll be an exciting game for people to see, and hopefully I don't get, bleeped too much, and nor does Tony, or we're not, on the court at all times. So no, but it'll be good. I think, again, it's a great matchup, and it's a big game for obviously both teams, and as we move forward in the league. So as Tony said, it's the halfway mark for both of us at this point, because this is the last game of our round robin. And then we continue to push on. So no, it'll be exciting. I think fans will enjoy the style of play and hopefully the personalities that are involved.
Well, back in 2016, it surely was extremely fun to watch you guys. Both of these coaches will be mic'd up at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time on FS1. Coach Tartamella and Coach Bozzella, thank you so much for joining me.
Thanks, Megan.
Thanks, Megan.
We're different here. We don't just get up for another day. We rise. We don't just work. We endeavor. We're women and men, for and with others. We have hope. We believe. and we celebrate. Why are we different?
So we can be the difference.
You're watching Marquette Basketball on Big East Digital Network.
Set for the second half in Milwaukee, Marquette looking for Big East win number 5 over Georgetown. The Golden Eagles enjoying a 9-point halftime lead. Along with Kyle Delabe, I'm Patrick Reed. We take a look at how the first half unfolded, Kyle. Georgetown found its rhythm early, especially in the first quarter.
Yeah, they were really impressive offensively in the first quarter, but it wouldn't hold up for the Hoyas as they were able to get some buckets off some drives, but Marquette started to get it going after that.
Where Marquette found some luck was from outside, and Isabel Spingola, as we see one of her threes. Part of an 11-point second quarter for Spingola. Really heated up from the floor to help lift Marquette to its lead over Georgetown. One of the ways that Marquette was able to find so much success in the second quarter, Kyle, scoring points off of Georgetown turnovers, 7 points off of 6 Georgetown turnovers.
Yeah, Marquette surprised Georgetown with some pressure in the backcourt, and also Marquette amped it up defensively on Georgetown's end as well, and that frustrated Georgetown a little bit as they couldn't get what they wanted to do offensively in that second quarter. And now we stand here, Georgetown still within range, but third quarters have been an issue for the Hoyas, so it's something to watch.
Second half from Milwaukee is next.
You're watching Georgetown Women's Basketball on the Big East Digital Network.
In front of crowds of screaming students on this Friday in Milwaukee inside the Al McGuire Center, Marquette will take to the courts, enjoying a 9-point lead on its home floor. Along with our fine Big East crew and Kyle Delabe, I'm Patrick Reed. Kyle talked about this for Georgetown. The third quarter has been a danger zone. In league play, they've been outscored 117-82. Look at some of their third quarter numbers this season. -17 against Creighton, -8 against St. John's, -9 against Villanova. Jimmy Howard talked about how important that quarter is if the Hoyas want to find success.
Yeah, it was almost exactly what he said. They're down by about 8 or so, and then the third quarter hits. So another situation that they are familiar with. How do they respond this afternoon?
Marquette starting the half going to the paint. Georgetown did a good job of limiting Marquette in the lane in the second quarter defensively. They're able to find the seam to Van Clunen to begin half number 2.
Yeah, Van Clunen back inside after trying to stretch the defense in the first half.
Offensive board for Grace Ann Bennett. Well, these are two of the better rebounding teams in the Big East, so we expect to see proficiency there. 2 to shoot. 3-pointer from Barnes off the side of the backboard. Not the way Georgetown wanted to start offensively in the third quarter.
Bennett, the only underclassman that starts for Georgetown, as there's a lot of seniors on this team looking to improve as they go forward.
Nice pickoff there for Caleba. Osagi Arasi for three. She's been on the bench with foul trouble most of this game.
Yeah, should be one player to watch for Georgetown if they're going to get back in this one.
First field goal of the game from marvelous Osagi Arasi. Another turnover from Marquette. Sloppy start for Megan Duffy's team in the third quarter. But the Golden Eagles did a good job through one half limiting the turnovers to just 4.
Barnes with the ball, another player possibly could help Georgetown get back into this one. Just 5 points in the first half.
Bennett from inside the arc. Grace-Ann Bennett, 3 for 3 shooting the basketball.
Yeah, nice performance by her as she doesn't put up a lot of points usually for the Hoyas in her freshman year.
Lott left alone for a moment, you bet. Don't give Lott that kind of time and space.
That's a tough one to take for Georgetown as they had pulled within 6 after the deep shot by Bennett. Give up a 3 to Lott, and it hurts.
Osagi Arasi goes for the rebound off her miss. Second chance for Georgetown and for Bennett. Bennett has hands on the basketball, so does Anderson. The arrow will favor Georgetown.
Bennett hits the deck after that one as Anderson and Bennett were fighting for it, and jump ball is whistled.
It's been some good stretches of play for Grace-Ann Bennett. Freshman out of Lake George, New York. Another 3 for Osagi Arasi goes.
Yeah, she didn't have a ton of space to put that one, but felt she was in rhythm and able to knock it down with ease.
A senior from East Orange, New Jersey, doing a really good job of asserting her presence to start the quarter. After again sitting most of the first half in foul trouble, Lott hands on the basketball. Barnes able to get there. It goes off Barnes. It'll stay with Marquette.
Yeah, that was a tough call to the official. I was looking right at it and couldn't really tell who it went off of, but Marquette's going to end up with the basketball. Oh, it looks like it was tipped out there by Barnes.
Looks like that'll be a good call for our crew. Joseph Vasili, Bruce Morris, Chrissy Mosley, our officials this afternoon. Shot clock to 20 for the Golden Eagles. Marquette 2 of its first 3 in the third quarter. Big East leaders in field goal percentage coming into this game. Lubo, baseline, through the crowd. 2 seconds to shoot for Marquette.
Looks like Bennett got at least 1 or 2 hands on that as Lubo was going right to the bucket. Swats it out of bounds.
So did Osagi Arasi. Hoping to close there defensively. And the Golden Eagles bailed out here by a foul. It'll be against Anita Caleba. That is her second.
That's a tough one by Caleba. 2 seconds on the shot clock. Committing the foul. Marquette gets 20 seconds here.
It'll be a turnover for Spingola as Marquette was in a scramble off the inbound play. Megan Duffy just pleading with her team. Take care of the ball, take care of business. And she said that's the thing we've done so well this season is take care of business when things don't go our way. She pointed to last weekend, a loss on the road at Butler, but took care of things the following Sunday at Xavier in a 20-point win. It's been a resilient group that she's molded.
I think that's when you have an unselfish team, when things aren't going your way, you have to stick to what the game plan is and not try to step outside of your strengths.
Barnes, good passing inside for Caleba, broken up by Chloe Murata. Good defensive work for the sophomore from Mequon, Wisconsin. And then another turnover for Marquette. Osagi Arasi will put on the brakes.
Smart play by her, didn't have a lane to the basket.
Pass inside, long reach from Bennett. Caleba inside the arc. Good movement, just not the result Georgetown wanted on that possession off the turnover.
Yeah, they made some smart plays, though, to get an open look. When you're fighting from behind, that's what you need to do.
Spingola, splashdown. 4th 3 of the game for Isabel Spingola.
Another efficient contest for Spingola, coming off what she did against Xavier and put up 14 points on 7 shots. Not bad.
Georgetown 3 of 8 shooting the basketball here in the third. Osagi Arasi will do well to get to the line here. She's been on the other end of it most of the game.
Yeah, Lubo a little bit surprised she got whistled for that one, but Georgetown at the free throw line.
Marvelous Osagi Arasi. Spent a lot of time doing a lot of work that hasn't gone rewarded in this program, but it did on the Georgetown trip to Spain this summer. She was awarded the scholarship. She's already got a job lined up after her basketball career is done with Nike. And she has been rewarding Georgetown with consistent play, especially in conference play at nearly 7 points a game. You just don't expect that kind of performance from somebody who was a walk-on now moving into a prominent role.
And the opportunity was there and she took it, and that's always good to see.
The people around the program so happy for what she has done. Marquette will look to right the ship on this possession. On the hard pass inside for Taylor, her shot won't fall.
Good feed by Murata. Taylor just couldn't finish.
Osagi Arasi attacking the basket on King and scores.
There she is again.
Has been marvelous in this quarter.
She's got
there it is.
10 points for Georgetown, the first player in double figure scoring for them. And Marquette's got a battle on their hands here in the third quarter.
No points for Osagi Arasi in the first quarter, first half of the game. Inside Taylor, count it! Cameron Taylor fighting through contact on the inside, and again showing her fearlessness as she has all season long. Post passing Murata, Taylor second chance, you bet. Marquette up 7.
My parents never taught me anything about managing money.
The amount of student loan debt I have, I'm embarrassed to even say.
We just decided we didn't want debt any longer.
I didn't realize how easy investing could be.
I'm picking companies that I believe in. I think SoFi Money is amazing.
Thank you, SoFi.
SoFi, thank you. We love you.
Stand up stronger. I got the power, gonna raise it up. So high, we're shining brighter. We got the power, gonna raise it up. We got the power, gonna raise it up. We're running ahead, and we got to raise it up.
We're all in, all together. Great voices ready to start, great energy. We're getting excited about what we do, all right? You know how together you are. You know how hard you're going to work, but you also know how good you are. Let's go show them. 1, 2, 3.
Together!
This is our time.
When we bring it together and we all locked in, we coming back in this locker room with a victory.
That's the Big East way. The 2020 Women's Basketball Tournament at Wintrust Arena. Get tickets now.
We'll return to the Al McGuire Center with Cameron Taylor going to the line. Kyle, there may not be a more impactful player off the bench in the league right now than Cameron Taylor.
Yeah, she stepped right in for Marquette, especially offensively in her freshman campaign, and has been very effective. She had a double-digit scoring game last weekend, 13 points against Xavier, and we mentioned the 23 against Seton Hall. I mean, she's going to be in for a good long career at Marquette. I know the program's very excited about her, and you know what she's been able to do so far in just her freshman year has been impressive.
The expectations for a player like Taylor or a player like Jordan King or a player like Norel Lubo, 3 freshmen that have seen time from Marquette, are always in flux in a freshman season, but Taylor has delivered it. 10 points a game in league play, shooting 54% from the floor. And Taylor making 3-point plays like that a habit.
And the mix of players, young and old, on Marquette has really worked well for them this year, having the veteran players who didn't get a lot of playing time in the past stepping up, and now the freshmen getting some playing time right away.
Kovachikova trying to get her quarter started. Nikola Kovachikova, 8 points in the first half. Was 2 of 4 from beyond 3-point range. And she's been playing a little sick in this game. Looked good from the outset, but you wonder how that'll impact her down the stretch.
Yeah, she's one player that can pull Georgetown a little bit closer with her range.
Murata trying to make her mark on the game. Chloe Murata has her first points.
And that makes it double digits. Georgetown's been hanging close in this one.
Ten-point lead for Marquette. In a quarter that has been troublesome for the Hoyas this season. One-hand pass across Kaleva. Nice stroke. Anita Kaleva sitting on 3 fouls right now, but has 6 points to her credit.
Yeah, 6 points, 9 rebounds. Been very active in this one for the Hoyas.
Kaleva, one of those seniors that Jimmy Howard looking for more from, as Murata carving through. Looking for the second chance. Taylor has it. Taylor around Kaleva. Another opportunity for Marquette. Murata, with the shot clock expiring, has nowhere to go.
A good defensive possession there by Georgetown. They did allow an offensive rebound by Marquette, but you know, a chance to cut back into this lead a little bit. And they really have fought hard in this third quarter, because we've talked about their struggles in the third quarter. It's been an up and down season for them, but you really have to hand it to the way they've hung tight in this one, and still a lot of time left.
They're doing it defensively right now, which Jimmy Howard loves. The man loves talking defense. Looking for some offense here from Shania Wright. Some impact moments in the first half. Now Wright with 5.
She's got a couple of buckets and not a lot of playing time, and Georgetown pulls within 6.
The plot thickens here in Milwaukee. King on the curl, blocked by Kaleva.
There's that defense you were talking about. Patrick couldn't grab the rebound, though.
5 to shoot for Lott. Does she see it? Murata goes the wrong way. Lott frustrated. Georgetown forcing another shot clock expiration. You see the long reach of Anita Kaleva. Croatian senior at 6'3". Came to Georgetown after 34 games at the University of Maine.
Bit of an overreach there by Lubo as she gets whistled for Marquette's second foul of the quarter. So ways to go for the bonus for either of these teams, as I'm not sure if they'll get there.
See the conversation there between Kaleva and Shania Wright. Jimmy Howard has really driven home that his 5 players have to work as one out there. His team really taking on that mantra in this game to keep it close.
I think you've seen that a little bit more often than in other games for Georgetown this afternoon.
Barnes, nice look inside, but it'll be an offensive foul against Taylor Barnes.
It was a good idea by Barnes setting up right for the wide open shot, but sliding into position here is Murata, and you know, it's the contact is there well after the pass has been made. It still counts as contact and an offensive foul, but it's a tough one to take for Georgetown.
At the other end, Jordan King knocks down the corner three.
And then you combine it with that three-point hit there by King, who has been struggling from the field. Just 17% from three-point range in conference play.
One-hand pass for Wright. It will stay with Georgetown with 11 to shoot.
I mean, if Marquette does hang on in this one, you kind of mark that sequence. It's a 5-point swing pretty much right there. In a close one.
Boys need a good possession here with the time dwindling on the shot clock. Wright, nice moves inside for Shania Wright.
And Georgetown not giving up just yet.
Brianna Jones stepping into the passing lane.
Wright 7 points in 6 minutes of action.
Wright was a player that missed a lot of time in the 2018-19 season dealing with injury. She was a top 100 recruit out of Brooklyn, New York, Polytechnic Prep. Lots. Kaleva trying to get it. As Barnes helping her out, won't be much help.
Yeah, that would have been big for Georgetown to gather in that rebound and try to get one final possession here in the third quarter, but Marquette now with an opportunity to take the last shot.
Lob to Spingola, she's on the line, knocks it down. Clock will hit zeros before Georgetown has an opportunity to fire away from long distance. Marquette's presence felt in the third quarter. Isabel Spingola, a 16-point effort so far. The Golden Eagles enjoying a 55-46 lead as we head to the fourth after this.
You're watching Marquette Basketball on Big East Digital Network.
We're different here. We don't just get up for another day. We rise. We don't just work. We endeavor. We're women and men, for and with others. We have hope, we believe, and we celebrate. Why are we different?
So we can be the difference.
My parents never taught me anything about managing money.
The amount of student loan debt I have, I'm embarrassed to even say.
We just decided we didn't want debt any longer.
I didn't realize how easy investing could be.
I'm picking companies that I believe in. I think SoFi Money is amazing.
Thank you, SoFi.
SoFi, thank you. We love you.
We're all in, all together. Great voices right at the start, great energy. We're getting excited about what we do, all right? You know how together you are. You know how hard you're going to work, but you also know how good you are. Let's go, Storm. 1, 2, 3.
Together!
This is our time.
When we bring it together and we all locked in, we coming back in this locker room with a victory.
That's the Big East way. The 2020 Women's Basketball Tournament at Wintrust Arena. Get tickets now.
Marquette with a 9-point lead as we get set to start the fourth quarter. This is a game that could have an impact on the standings to get Marquette in a crowded Big East to 5-3. You see St. John's and Seton Hall sitting on that same mark. Those two teams will match up in an all-access game Sunday at 6:30 Eastern on FS1. That ought to be a lot of fun to hear the mics on Joe Tartamella and Tony Bozella. But as we take a look at the Big East, Kyle, it's a league bunched well in that middle grouping. All teams that are top 100 RPI teams, all teams that are hoping to get those NCAA tournament bids, sitting right there in that 1 to Creighton spot. Creighton at 4-3, 22nd in the latest RPI.
Yeah, that Villanova game is going to be real big for Marquette, as is this one. They got to close it out against Georgetown.
Villanova's at DePaul tonight. That's an 8 o'clock Eastern time tip. You see that on the Big East Digital Network, along with Creighton's game hosting Xavier as they try to get back on track. Coach Flan's team, a couple of tough road losses last weekend against St. John's and Seton Hall. Good resume-building wins for both the Pirates and Red Storm, though.
That's a tough trip.
Yeah. Barnes. Second chance for Wright. Won't fall. And Marquette crashing the glass.
I think people thought coming into this season that at least it would be a little bit easier on half of this trip, but it's turning out that the Marquette-DePaul road trip is just as tough as it has always been.
Still pretty similar teams as they've always been. Lauren Van Clunen adding to her total in double figures. She has 12.
Sort of the three go-to scorers for Marquette on the season now, each in double figures with Lotz, Mingol, and Van Clunen.
Round Jones, but inside is Wright. Kaleva kicks out. Kovachikova for three. That's in and out. Georgetown cannot buy a bucket right now. 0 for 4 to start the quarter. Spingola. Yes! Five three-pointers for Isabel Spingola. Spingola trying to roll Marquette to a 5th Big East win this season. As always, lighting it up from distance.
Stand up stronger. I got the power, gonna raise it up. So high, we're shining brighter. We got the power, gonna raise it up. We got the power, gonna raise it up. We're running ahead, and we got to raise it up.
The amount of student loan debt I have, I'm embarrassed to even say.
I felt like I was going to spend my whole adult life paying this off.
Thanks to SoFi, I can see the light at the end of the tunnel.
As of 12 p.m. today, I am debt-free.
We have no debt, we don't owe anybody anything, and it's fantastic.
We're different here. We don't just get up for another day. We rise. We don't just work. We endeavor. We're women and men for and with others. We have hope, we believe, and we celebrate. Why are we different?
So we can be the difference.
Marquette has the first 5 points of the fourth quarter and opening up a 14-point lead on Georgetown, trying to get to that Big East win number 5 and win their 4th straight. here inside the Al McGuire Center. You can enjoy live basketball in Milwaukee today, and these Milwaukee school students enjoying just that. Milwaukee's other teams on the road. The Bucks in Paris, France, taking on the Charlotte Hornets. The Marquette men are at Butler later tonight. Nikola Kovačikova on the drive on Anderson. Second chance for Kaleva on the inside. Has hands on the basketball, and Van Clunen rips it away from Kaleva. Jump ball is called for. Possession arrow favors Georgetown. Well, what a job there by Van Clunen to stay with it.
Yeah, it was a quick jump ball call there, but Georgetown will take it.
As they look for offensive solutions in the fourth quarter. Third quarter was good to them, 18-18. The score between the two teams in the third quarter. That has been a problem quarter all season long for Georgetown, but now Marquette. The first 5. Jones can't change it. Foul will keep the ball there. Second against Lauren Van Clunen.
Georgetown now 0 of 6 from the field in the fourth quarter.
Jimmy Howard's team has weathered the storm to this point, but in a 14-point game, they've got to do some work on this end of the floor. 7 of 21 shooting the basketball here in half number 2. Shania Wright's had a big second half. Brianna Jones trying to get it going. There's another Marquette foul to help the Hoyas keep the ball on this end of the floor.
Yeah, it appears that some of their usual third quarter issues have sort of popped up here in the fourth quarter for Georgetown.
Still a lot of time to go. There's Kaleva swatted by Anderson. Altia Anderson has been one of the best shot blockers in the Big East this season.
Yeah, really turning into an all-around force for the Golden Eagles in her senior campaign.
Can the Golden Eagles buckle down here defensively? They can. Lott trying to split the seam and scores.
Lott had that look in her eye. She was not slowing down until she got to the basket.
13 for Selena Lott. A defensive stand turns into offense for Marquette. Kaleva trying to control that rebound. It'll stay with Georgetown with 14 on the shot clock. As the Hoyas are now 0 for 10 in the quarter.
Yeah, just 3 minutes, and it's a lot of misses in a short amount of time for Georgetown.
Marvelous Usagi Aresi back on the floor. Only Hoya in double figures with 10 points. She'll take control, take matters into her own hands. 2 for Jones. Does she see the clock? Yes! Count it! Brianna Jones with the clock hitting zeros.
That was a must-have there for Georgetown. Get off the schneid. Get the ball through the hoop, and now a chance for a 3-point play.
It was the second foul for Lauren Van Clunen as the officials will gather for a moment. And our crew today, Joseph Vasili, Bruce Morse, Christy Mosley for a day game in the Big East. Georgetown will leave immediately after the conclusion of this game to head down to Chicago, where tonight DePaul will host Villanova. Villanova will come back here, and here's what the officials are looking at, which is, did Brianna Jones get this off before the shot clock? And that would indicate, yes, we see the 1. So that should be a good basket +1 for Brianna Jones.
Plenty of time.
Yeah.
Space between the hand and the ball, and should be an easy one to see on the screen.
Good toughness from Jones and from Georgetown in general, as they have really struggled to find the bottom of the net in this quarter. 1 for 11 for the Hoyas. The Golden Eagles 3 for 3. Jones has been the team's top scorer in 5 games this season, so she's been someone they've relied on. She gives them a big bucket +1 in a moment where they had to have something good happen.
Window still open here for Georgetown. Defense is where things are going to have to change, though, for the Hoyas.
Anderson on the deck. 7 for Lott. Lott curling around Kaleva and scores.
Kaleva got up in the air on that one, and Lott took advantage of the space.
Marquette 4 for 4 from the floor in quarter 4. Jones. 3-pointer. That's off. Brianna Jones, only a 24% three-point shooter this season. Maybe feeling a little bit too confident from outside. 15-point lead for Marquette. Jordan King and her sure hands back on the floor for Marquette. It's been a couple of games without a turnover for Jordan King. It's the kind of performance that Megan Duffy wants to see from her freshman point guard.
Yeah.
Gets it from Taylor and plenty of space. There's Isabel Spingola to run her total to 21 points.
Back-to-back games, 20+ for her.
Jimmy Howard wants a timeout. Trying to keep the Hoyas in this game before it gets too much farther away from them, while Marquette tries to win its 5th in the Big East.
You're watching Georgetown basketball on the Big East Digital Network.
We're different here. We don't just get up for another day. We rise. We don't just work. We endeavor. We're women and men for and with others. We have hope, we believe, and we celebrate. Why are we different?
So we can be the difference.
All right, we gotta be all in, all right? We gotta make sure we play with great passion. You have felt each other and helped each other and allowed yourselves to be helped with that, all right? We've got a great opportunity to do that today.
This is who we are.
When you look to your left and you see your sister over there, you help her. Because what we are one. Let's bring it.
1, 2, 3.
Yeah! That's the Big East way. The 2020 Big East Women's Basketball Tournament at Wintrust Arena. Get tickets now.
The Georgetown Hoyas doing what they can to keep it close here in Milwaukee against Marquette. They've lost 5 in a row. Trying to turn their fortunes around on this trip, which won't get any easier. They'll travel to DePaul Sunday. That's a 2 o'clock local time tip. Before coming back home for a couple of games against Seton Hall and St. John's. Those are 2 teams that are making their way up the Big East standings. There's never a night off in the Big East Conference, and Megan Duffy knows that with Harry Paretta's Villanova team coming up here on Sunday. It'll be the last game for Peretta as head coach in Milwaukee.
42nd season at Villanova and final. Wow.
These Wildcats are trying to put together a good last season. In the swan song of their head coach, they're 5-2 in the league, 11-7 overall. They got a little bit of work to do to get back in NCAA consideration. Carving is Barnes. Barnes, can she keep control? No.
Seagrass seems like she's going to run away with the Rookie of the Year, the way she's playing so far for Villanova.
7th in the nation in scoring. Big East Freshman of the Week again this past week. Good long possessions, the key for Marquette here. And they get one finished by Lott, who has 17 points.
And the biggest lead now for Marquette in this contest is they're getting closer to extending their home winning streak.
Marquette hasn't missed from the floor in this quarter, 6 for 6. All 6 made field goals assisted on. And for the game, Marquette, 21 assists on those 25 baskets. They came into this game assisting on better than 70% of their field goal makes this season, which is a really impressive number. Usagi Aresi. Rebound from Wright as she hits the deck. It's been a physical game for Shania Wright, the 6'1 sophomore out of Brooklyn. Wright has played well, 7 points, 3 rebounds. Trying to set a screen for Usagi Aresi. She'll receive it on the entry pass. Can't score it around Murata. Taylor's hands are there. It's a foul. Wright, a good job to stay with the play. It's the first personal against Chloe Murata. Murata's played 13 minutes in this game. On the other side, for her, it's been foul trouble this season. She fouled out against Xavier. It's her second of the year.
Been very active in this game so far for Marquette. Not a huge stat line for her, but she's been in the middle of a lot of the action, especially here in the second half.
Drawing charges, making plays in the post, and good passing for Chloe Murata. They've all been things that we've noticed, especially in this second half for Marquette. King, Murata. Now they work the perimeter for Spingola for another 3, make it 6.
Wow, she's hit thousands of them on this court in her time at Marquette in practice and in games, and really stepping out, stepping up in her senior season.
Just getting comfortable, going out and balling today. It's the game for Isabel Spingola. Kovachikova will kick it out. 3-pointer for Usagi Aresi, way short. And Wright can't save it. (71-49), Marquette's lead over Georgetown.
Kafis checking into her 13th game of the season for the Golden Eagles.
Marquette has some freshmen that don't play a lot of minutes. Claire Kafis, one of them. Destiny Struther, Taylor Valladay, a couple of others. They got some valuable minutes against Xavier Sunday. So whenever Megan Duffy can get them into a game and get them prepared for down the road is a good thing. Coach Duffy doing a good job of keeping the recruiting class together that had already committed to Marquette before she became the head coach in April. Murata tripped. It'll be Georgetown basketball.
Possibility for Marquette to have their third Big East win of 20 or more points.
Golden Eagles just under their season average in points in Big East play, sitting on 71 right now. Average 71.9, bounce pass to no one. King gonna push the tempo on Barnes. Seven points for Jordan King so far today.
Some nice strides forward for her offensively. Great to see her knock down the three-pointer and continue to be solid on the point.
Kafis from the baseline. Caleb his rebound. Kovalchukova fighting off the stickness to stay in the game. Kaleva's jumper misses. More subs for Marquette. There's Destiny Struther, number 13. Freshman from Flint, Michigan.
Yeah, these are valuable minutes. They might seem like not much, from an outside look, but these are important times for these players checking in, for the Golden Eagles.
Lubo's had plenty of minutes in this game. She's blocked by Tiana Jones. Jones has shown some nice flashes in this game. Sophomore from Selma, North Carolina.
Especially still facing Georgetown's rotation players for the most part.
Taylor looking to back down right. Kafis turning around. Hands on the basketball. Wright claims it. Two minutes to go in regulation time. Marquette trying to improve to 5-3 in the Big East. 7-2 here in the Al McGuire Center as part of a 4-game homestand. This is a place where Marquette can really clean up in the standings and make some movement up. They've won 3 in a row in this building, 2 conference games. Didn't enjoy a lot of time at home in league play to start the Big East schedule as Shania Wright gets another basket. Well, and then for Georgetown on the other hand, as they stay on the road, again tough to handle the Marquette DePaul swing for just about any team in the league. They're no exception. That's a swing that has not gotten easier as the years have gone on in this realigned Big East. Cameron Taylor showing off her moves to get to 9 points.
Yeah, making something out of nothing there. Didn't look like she had a good look at the basket, but still was able to hit the turnaround.
Kovalchukova, inside pass for Kaleva, offensive foul, Georgetown.
Like Kafis with the one to take the contact right there for Marquette.
It's a moment that'll make her smile and her teammates smile too. Taylor Valladay also on the floor to get some minutes for Marquette. All freshman lineup for the Golden Eagles. Here's Lubo changing hands. That's all going to come together soon enough for Narelle Lubo, who has been a grit player, who's been a defensive presence for Marquette. Not much on the offensive yet for the freshman from North Andover, Massachusetts.
Has really taken to her role so far in this freshman year, though.
And it's another offensive foul, a second.
Wow.
In as many possessions for Nikola Kovalchukova.
Ersan Ilyasova-like numbers there for Claire Kafis off the bench taking charges on back-to-back possessions.
Bucks aren't the best team in the league for nothing, folks.
Valladay a chance to bring up the ball here for the Golden Eagles. What could be their last possession.
Georgetown showed some positive signs in this game. Better third quarter. It was the fourth quarter that was their undoing in this game, going 2 for 18. But Marquette workmanlike all the way through. Started off the quarter 7 for 7 shooting the basketball to extend that lead.
Some strides forward for Georgetown for sure, but still ends up as a loss.
It's been a work in progress for Jimmy Howard, and he's had plenty of success here. He's gotten the Hoyas to the postseason each of the last couple of years. This is a tough year for Georgetown. And for Marquette, it's a year that a lot of folks were unsure of, but Marquette is sure of how they've progressed Now to 5 wins in the Big East and a 14-5 overall record. Marquette 73, Georgetown 51. Back to Milwaukee after this.
We're different here. We don't just get up for another day. We rise. We don't just work. We endeavor. We're women and men for and with others. We have hope. We believe.
My parents never taught me anything about managing money.
The amount of student loan debt I have, I'm embarrassed to even say.
We just decided we didn't want debt any longer.
I didn't realize how easy investing could be.
I'm picking companies that I believe in. I think SoFi Money is amazing.
Thank you, SoFi.
SoFi, thank you. We love you.
We're all in, all together. Great voices right at the start, great energy. We're getting excited about what we do, all right? You know how together you are. You know how hard you're going to work, but you also know how good you are. Let's go, Storm. 1, 2, 3.
Together!
This is our time.
When we bring it together and we all locked in, we coming back in this locker room with a victory.
That's the Big East way. The 2020 Women's Basketball Tournament at Wintrust Arena. Get tickets now.
Marquette 73, Georgetown 51. Marquette now has 5 wins in the Big East and making her second appearance in a post-game interview in a row. Isabel Spingola, why are things going so well right now?
Yeah, I would say today just our ball movement as a team, it was really well. I mean, I'm sure we had a lot of assists on field goals, and obviously it starts on the defensive end, so just locking in on defense and then transitioning it to offense.
Well, I had to check on that. It was 22 on 27. You guys are assisting on, I think, a rate of about 70% of your field goal makes. This is a team that all season long has been in that kind of rhythm offensively. Why?
I would just say when we play as a team, we play really well. So just knowing that at any time anybody could get the ball and score, it just really helps us out. It makes us hard to guard, and yeah.
It was another game today where not just you, but a lot of contributors across the board, and everybody kind of doing it differently, it seemed like, out there to make their impact on this game. How did you see it from where you were?
Yeah, I would say, I mean, obviously Claire came in and she took 2 charges, so that was big. Cam always comes in ready. Sel, Jordan, Louie, everybody else on the team just did their role, and I think when we play our role, we're going to win, and we're going to play our best.
Is it fun to have the kids out here and to have all that noise behind you and sometimes all that chaos behind you like we're seeing right now?
Yeah, I mean, the kids' games are always fun. It's obviously really loud. Bring your earplugs. But, yeah, I love it. I love the energy.
All right, well, enjoy the rest as well. You get a little bit of it going into Sunday. Marquette, Big East win number 5. Isabel Spingola, great game today.
Thank you.
All right, Marquette 73, Georgetown 51. The Golden Eagles improved to 5-3 in the Big East. And they'll continue their 4-game homestand here on Sunday, welcoming in Villanova. Isabel Spingola, a 24-point performance, her second 20-point game to lead Marquette. For our entire crew and for Kyle Delabe, I'm Patrick Reed saying so long from the Al McGuire Center in Milwaukee.